Whoa, whoa, it's the illusion. Reporting from somewhere on Spaceship Earth. This is Sober Wednesdays, where we dedicate 1 hour of this YouTube live streaming reality to strictly the subject of sobriety, maintaining sobriety, and those who are sober curious. Yeah, see, like that, sober curious. There's no requirements that you want to be sober, you need to be sober, or you have to be sober to be here. All that I ask and all that the stream asks is no trolls, no harsh comments, no screwing around. This is an hour for someone who may be in need, someone who is at the brink of self-destruction. So please respect those who came here to seek a solution. We can do all the fun on the other streams and all the chaos on the other streams. Okay, so please let's just respect those who did come for a solution and some help, because this might be their only place they can go. We just don't know. So Dan, you're a wrench, run a tight ship, and 365. How you doing, my friend? God, I forgot to call you again, dude. Jesus, I gotta come together. All right. So good. We all need this right now. It's one of those days, right? So I like to stay a little bit consistent with this thing, and so I will open it with the Serenity Prayer. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Amen. All right, and then we like to get in and read a little bit of chapter 5 and go from there. So yeah, wrench people, man, if you run into any of those trolls, you can just delete them from the channel. No big deal, dude. So if you don't want to respect what we're doing here, you can kick rocks and go somewhere else. So let's read chapter 5. And I see a page that's folded. Remember, I found this big book on the side of the road. So there's a folded page. I found this big book on the side of the road, right where I got it pulled over for a ticket today, dude. Yeah, it's that kind of a day. So let's go. Chapter 5, how it works, dude. Where is it? Chapter 5, how it works. All right, how it works. Chapter 5, page 58. How it works. Rarely have we seen a person fail who has thoroughly followed our path. Those who do not recover are people who cannot or will not completely give themselves to the simple program. Usually men and women who are constitutionally incapable of being honest with themselves. There are such unfortunates. They are not at fault. They seem to have been born that way. They are naturally incapable of grasping and developing a manner of living which demands rigorous honesty. Their chances are less than average. There are those, too, who suffer from grave emotional and mental disorders, but many of them do recover if they have the capacity to be honest. Our stories disclose in a general way what we used to be like, what happened, and what we are like now. If you've decided you want what we have and are willing to go to any length to get it, then you are ready to take certain steps. At some of these we balked. We thought we could find an easier, softer way, but we could not. With all the earnestness at our command, we beg of you to be fearless and thorough from the very start. Some of us have tried to hold on to our old ideas, and the result was nil until we let go absolutely. Remember that we deal with alcohol, cunning, baffling, powerful. Without help, it is too much for us. But there is one who has all power. That one is God. May you find him now. Half measures availed us nothing. We stood at the turning point. We asked his protection and care with complete abandon. Here are the steps we took, which are suggested as a program of recovery. 1, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. 2, came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. 3, made a decision to turn our will and our lives over to the care of God as we understood him. 4, made a searching and fearless moral inventory of ourselves. 5, admitted to God, to ourselves, and another human being the exact nature of our wrongs. 6, we're entirely ready to have God remove all these defects of character. 7, humbly asked him to remove our shortcomings. 8, made a list of all persons we had harmed and became willing to make amends to them all. 9, we made direct amends to such people wherever possible, except when to do so would injure them or others. 10, continued to take personal inventory, and when we were wrong, promptly admitted it. 11, sought through prayer and meditation to improve our conscious contact with God as we understood him, praying only for the knowledge of his will for us and the power to carry that out. 12, having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and to practice these principles in all of our affairs. Many of us exclaimed, "What an order! I cannot go through with it." Do not be discouraged. None among us has been able to maintain anything like perfect adherence to these principles. We are not saints. The point is that we are willing to grow along spiritual lines. The principles we have set down are guides to progress. We claim spiritual progress rather than spiritual perfection. Our description of the alcoholic, the chapter of the agnostic, and our personal adventures before and after make clear 3 pertinent ideas. A, that we are alcoholic and could not manage our own lives. B, that probably no human power could have relieved our alcoholism. And C, God could and would if he were sought. All right, so that's how it works. Nick, thank you. I appreciate the donation there. And we're here. We are here. I've been kind of looking forward to this today. And it's one of those things that I'm stoked we have this little thing going on that we can consistently rally around. You know, we're doing alcoholism, dude. Alcoholism. You know, you could call it, you know, right? It's a spiritual malady, a mind-centered disease, an allergy of the body, right? So my allergy, I pretty much have in check, right? I know that if I drink alcohol, that my body will kick into a reaction. I have no idea what will happen. And so I'm not gonna risk it. I'm pretty clear that alcohol and drugs have a negative impact on my reality, and I have no ability to control them. The mind-centered disease, right? It does center in my mind. It's the self-talking mind, and I've had some of that today, man. My head's been a little bit chitty chat today, and it's been giving me, you know, it's been running roughshod on me. But because this is a spiritual solution to an allergy of the body and a mind-centered disease, like, I can call on God. And I think that's why this Wednesday thing is here, is so that I can call on God, right? Because what a perfect day of all the days, right? It's today. I think for a lot of us that we need to have some sober thoughts that aren't part of the story that's being woven into our lives. So again, as I should share my experience, strength, and hope. So today I was just driving today. I wasn't really paying attention, and I was, you know, zipping along, and I got pulled over by the sheriffs. Zero interaction, dude. Just, it's pretty lickety split how it happens today. But I don't carry any energy with me. So if I go back and I look back in my story, right? Like, I used to be a person who, in the midst of my alcoholism, I was usually stoned, having been drinking, possibly been drinking. So I wouldn't have been zipping along at all. I didn't speed. I was super, like, kept it all under the radar. But then again, that didn't keep me out of the grasps of the police. So when I was loaded, you know, they were definitely my enemy. They were my enemy because they were the ones who could take away my self-imposed prison, if you will. So towards the end of my drinking and drugging career, I think about 2 years before I got sober, I got pulled over. I had been out drinking and I was driving around like an idiot. And I got pulled over, but I was at that point now where I knew that I was busted, right? So I got pulled over and I was super mellow I was like, you got me. The cop came up to the window and I go, you got me. I'm busted. And he's like, all right. And he was like, because I was somewhat mellow about it, he didn't impound my car. But I remember, so I got arrested. I got taken to the police station. I got let go the next morning and I'm hitchhiking back to where my car is. And I remember I got picked up by this Hispanic dude and probably his son or something. And they picked me up and it gave me a ride. And I distinctly remember he didn't ask what I was up to or anything. All he said to me was like, you don't have to live like that anymore. And I didn't know what that meant then. I really didn't know what he meant. I was just like, that's weird to say. You don't have to live like that anymore. But I do know now he must have been a sober dude. He must have been some sober kind of guy, possibly, or knew someone in his life who was in recovery. Because when we get sober, we realize that we don't have to live like that. We don't have to live drunk and loaded and getting pulled over and chaotic and the whole thing. That doesn't mean that we don't bump into life's problems, right? So today's a prime example. So I just look at how different the experience was. So when I got pulled over that time, dude, I was busted. I was drunk. I was sweating it, whether the cops were going to impound my car. They found some weed in my car. They found some LSD in my car. I had a big fat ticket. I ended up getting my license suspended. I was in court and blah, blah, blah. And I had to hire my friend who was a lawyer, and I was driving around on a suspended license all the time to get to work, and just all the chaos that ensues as in a life of alcoholism. I was still drinking, I was still doing what I did, but now I was like sweating. If I get pulled over again, I'm driving on a suspended, you're instantly like super felony busted, right? So I get pulled over today, right? 11 years sober, dude. Dude, I was in and out of that police interaction in like 5 minutes. My registration was paid. My insurance was paid. All of my stuff was ready. I didn't have any reason for the police to do anything. Walked up to my door. I had my stuff. I handed it to him. He said, you're going 68 and a 55. He walked back to his motorcycle, wrote me a ticket, came back, gave me a ticket. I didn't say one word to him. But I didn't drive away all bummed. I was like, that's what I get. I was speeding. I wasn't paying attention. I was sort of off in my own la land. Because the one thing I've learned in sobriety is no one's doing any of this to me. That sheriff guy wasn't doing anything to me. I was the one who just wasn't paying attention, dude. I just wasn't really like, and I should have known that's probably where a policeman would have been. I just wasn't paying attention, man. And so I didn't get the ticket and feel like a burden with it, right? I was like, yeah, whatever. I gotta deal with that. And I got it right here, dude. Boom, right there. I guess I sort of look at this, and I don't look at this as a bummer, dude. I look at this as sort of a weird reward, because I can pick one of these things up and it not ruin my life. You get what I'm saying? I can get pulled over by the cops at 11 years sober, and it's not a negative interaction. It's not some victim thing. It's me just making a mistake and willing to own it and driving away and off to live the rest of my day. 12 years ago, dude, it meant I was in handcuffs, getting charges, court cases, suspended licenses, all of this stuff, right? I don't live like that anymore. I can earn a ticket, dude, and not sweat it, dude, because I don't live in fear of this. Not like I used to, right? And so, all right, Nick Mendez. Hey, Hamish, I was wondering if you were looking for anyone just to life mentor. I need an older figure with your wisdom. Yeah. Get email me down below, Nick, and we'll work it all out. Just there's an email down below. So again, is what I'm getting at is Michael F. That's not it. That's not it. I get what you're saying, Michael F. Dude. Yes, no, it's too many platforms. But so anyway, what I'm getting at is we get a whole new life. It doesn't mean the problems of life go away, dude. Like, I think there's a big misunderstanding maybe of like, oh, we're going to get sober and everything like disappears. Like it just all becomes like lollipops and rainbows. It doesn't. It just is your attitude about how you deal with life. And I'm telling you, it's a game of progress. But the thing that I felt grateful. I don't know how to, I guess I am trying to explain it. I felt grateful today to be sober guy. Because the cop didn't ask me any questions like, do you got any weed in the car? Do you got nothing, dude? I was tripping actually when I was there. I was like, he didn't ask me a word, dude. Didn't have any reason to hassle me any more than like, here's your speeding ticket, move on. And I was thinking about, as I was sitting there, like, because I knew it was Sober Wednesdays, I was like, this is the psychic transformation they talk about in having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, dude. Like the spiritual awakening was like, I'm not in resistance to it. I'm not in resistance. Does it suck? Yeah, it's a pain in the ass, dude. I botched, dude, but I get to speed freely. So like, this is the thing. Again, I was thinking when I was first getting sober, right? When I was first getting sober, I had this, I got my first sober car. Maybe I should tell that story a little bit. A sober story, dude. So when I finally got sober, right? I told you the story of the meeting when Sober Wednesday #1 with Joe and Dave in front of the liquor store. I got sober. Well, I had this pickup truck that I've had. Wait, hold on. I got it. That's my wife, and I got the phone on airplane mode for the doing sober when I cannot spell Wednesday to save my life. Already, thank you. And return. Oh, okay. So I had this car, right? I'd been loaded in. I had it for 16 years. I think 16 years. What was it? I think it was 16 years. Yeah, it was in 94. I finally got it, died on 2. So I had this car for 16 years, right? And I get sober. It's my old red pickup truck, my little Mazda B2300, dude. I didn't have a sober mile in this thing, dude. And I had like 250. I'd driven around the earth like 10 times in this thing, right? So I had this car, right? And I'd had it for 16 years, and it had been not once it ever had a problem, dude. Not once ever. I get sober. I'm living up with Dave and Joe up at the Sober Living, and like 3 months into sobriety, the engine blows. I blow up the engine somehow after 16 years. And I remember Joe, who was my sponsor at the time, he's like, I'm like, dude, my car, I've had it for 16 years, bro. He's like, it got you here, dude. And I'm like, yeah, but it's like, and he's like, no, dude, it's God just telling you you're ready for a new car. And I was like, yeah, whatever, dude. Like, you and your weirdo spiritual stuff. Because you got to remember, early sobriety, I still wasn't like all like, yeah, dude, it's all an illusion. It's this has been built on in sobriety, right? Of the understanding. So Joe was like, God got you here, and God wants you to get a new car. You'll see. And so at the time, my buddy Dave, who was one of the dudes who got me sober, he's like, hey man, we can go down to this car dealership and you can drive away with the car right now. And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, the car dealership is run by a sober dude. He gets all the sober people their first like sober car, dude. He'll make a payment plan. It's no big deal, dude. Just come on down. We'll just go down there right now. And so you have to understand, at that time, I didn't trust people. I'm like, what's your scam, dude? There's no sober dude, no sober car dealership guy. There's none of this is going on. So me being a stubborn hardhead, right? Me being a full no. Because you have to understand, I'm not a joiner. I don't join AA because I'm like, oh yeah, this is bitching. I don't get sober because I'm like, yeah, this is bitching. I'm like, dude, I'm doing this because my life sucks and I don't want it to suck anymore. But I'm not all like gung ho, like, yeah, you guys are bitching, dude. I'm like, you guys are weird. And so it goes on for like another 3 months, dude. I won't go down to the car dealership with this guy. He's like, dude, your car's sitting down there. He's like, dude, we can just go get your car anytime you want, dude. I'm like, dude. And so for that 3 months, and it was again God doing for me what I could not do for myself, because I was stubborn, right? I wouldn't ask for help. I wouldn't do any of that kind of stuff. And so I spend the next 3 months like taking the bus and my skateboard everywhere I'd go. Like I would get on the bus. I was still doing carpentry. I would get on the bus sometimes going to a new job with all my tools, just hoses and skill saws. And you have to understand, the buses in Southern California are for the Hispanics. Like, gringos don't ride the bus. So I get on the bus in the morning, dudes, with these tools. And it would be like 6 a.m. I'd be the only white guy there just carrying all these tools because I was a stubborn freak. And I would go, and I was doing the deal, dude. I was going to meetings every night. I was getting up. I was going to my lame carpentry job. I was staying sober. On Wednesdays, I had a book commitment in Santa Monica. And Santa Monica from Malibu is sort of like distance, and you got to take a bus. So I'd leave like 2 hours early to go to this meeting on Tuesdays, right? Where I had this book commitment, a big backpack full of books, dude. I'd carry all my AA literature. Every Tuesday, I would go to this meeting, and I'd be like, I don't want to go, dude. This, who wants to go? Dude, I'm a new guy. But I'd be like, I got the books, dude. I got to go. So I'd leave like 2 hours and take all these buses to get there and skate from like 20 blocks up to 26 and Broadway. And I'd go to the thing, and I would sit there on Tuesdays, man. I'd sit next to this gnarly like black dude who was like 20 years sober, dude. I forget his name. He's rad, dude. Sit there, fucking had all the AA bling on him and stuff. And I'd sit next to this guy every Tuesday, dude. And I'd carry the books. And I was still stubborn guy, right? So I wouldn't ever ask anyone for a ride home, dude. I would leave the meeting with my backpack. I'd skate down the 26 blocks down to the California Incline, and I would hitchhike, dude. I'd hitchhike back to Malibu because there was no buses at that hour. The buses stopped at like 9 or something, right? And I would never catch the last bus. So inevitably, every time whoever I would pick up with would end up being somebody who I'd ultimately give a piece of my AA literature to. It would be someone who was, sometimes they would be drunk, sometimes be whatever, and they'd be like, what are you doing? I'd be like, I'm hitchhiking from an AA meeting. I was a new guy. I was fresh meat, dude, and sobriety, dude. So I'm doing this, right? I'm doing this whole thing. I'm going to meetings every night. Every night I'm going to a meeting, working all day long, skating and taking buses, not accepting help from anybody, dude. And so I used to spend a lot of time sitting at Starbucks, dude. I would sit at Starbucks a lot. And it was during this time that I learned, someone was asking me about patience the other day. That's how I learned what patience was. So I would sit at Starbucks, not because I was trying to learn anything, but because I was too stubborn to ask for help. You see, I had that pride thing, like, oh, I'm too proud. I don't want to ask anyone for help. I don't want anyone knowing I need a ride. Nah, I don't want anyone knowing I need a ride. So I did that for like 3.5 months, something like that, where I was just, everything was buses, Starbucks, and my skateboard, and just grueling, pain in the ass. And then this giant west swell came up. Little surf talk and the sober talk. This giant west swell came up, and it was like February or something. And my buddy that I would hitch rides, there was one dude I would get a ride from, my surfer friend who was getting sober at the time, this cat I was rolling with. And I would get a ride with him, and we'd surf. And then there was this one day, this big west swell came up, and he was going to a softer wave. And I was like, I want to go to this like gnarly wave, dude. Like, I know it's going to be pumping there. Like, I need to get to this gnarly wave. And he's like, oh, I am not going there. And I remember getting super bummed, right? Like, dude. And I'll read the top chats in a minute. And I remember being super bummed. And I was like, all right. And I went up to the dude, Dave, who had been like, the sober car dealership, just come on down, dude. We'll just drive down there. There's a car. Your car is sitting there for you. This had been going on for 3.5 months since my truck blew up. This dude was like, your car is just sitting there waiting for you, dude. And I'd be like, yeah, whatever, bro. Whatever, dude, weirdo. I don't know about your sober car weirdness and the whole thing. So I finally get desperate, right? Desperation. So I get desperate, and I'm like, all right, Dave, man, will you take me down to the car dealership, dude? So we go down to Santa Monica Volvo there and talk to Magnus, dude. Magnus and the other guy, Dave. Magnus and Dave. And they're like, yeah, dude, your car's right out front. I walk in the door, and they're like, your car's right out front. And it was Terra Cruiser 1, dude, the gray 1987 Volvo wagon, dude. They're like, yeah, dude, it's been sitting here waiting for you. Dave called us 3.5 months ago, said you, and no one's come by to get it. It's waiting for you. And I go, I don't have any money, dude. They go, you don't need any money, dude. You're a sober guy, right? Get sober, dude. You're doing the thing. I go, yeah. They're like, dude, here's the payment plan. Here, just sign here. $146 a month. I leave with this 1987 great Terra Cruiser 1. Go back in the old videos. I leave with this rad Volvo. I still wish I had that thing. And I started to be able to drive around again, dude, and do my own thing. So now I know I'm telling the story. So I got the new Volvo, dude, my first sober car, dude, because my other car had probably pot and the drugs in it and hidden in the wherever, right? So I got my first sober car, dude, that's never seen me loaded. I'm driving, and I'm flying around Malibu in my gray Volvo, dude. Speeding, dude, because I hadn't sped in 16 years, dude, because I wouldn't speed because I was paranoid of the cops, and I wouldn't drive at night, and I had all sorts of rules, dude. And so I go to the Starbucks. Starbucks is like the thing. Yeah, it's coffee shop, dude. You know, it's the only coffee shop in town. Just if there was an independent, I would have gone there, but there wasn't. So I was in this. There was this dude, Robbie, and he's at the standing line. Oh, it's sober, dude, bunch of years, dude. And he's like, man, I see you speeding around in your Volvo a lot, dude. Like he was coming down on me, like you know, self-righteous guy, and I was like, I still wasn't all cool with like these type of sober dudes. I was like, yeah, you know, man, like whatever. He's like, you know, speeding and you're sober and this and that and blah 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 blah. And I go, look, bro. I'm sober. I get to speed, dude. I have insurance. I got an active driver's license. I got a car with the registration paid. And I'm gonna speed because I'm sober, dude. And I haven't sped the entire time I was loaded. And speeding and sobriety work for me because I'm willing to get a ticket, dude. And this dude looks at me and he's like, well, if you're willing to accept the consequences of your actions, then I guess you can do what you want. And I got in my car with my cup of coffee and punched it somewhere, dude. But so there's my sober car story, dude. Well, I guess it's the thing of like, once we're willing to accept our consequences, we have these spiritual changes, we learn these things along the way, and things begin to happen. And I'll expound on that a little bit, but we're at the half an hour mark. There's been a couple top chats here. John Podesta's emails are scary. Don't have a lot of money to donate, but in reality, I wouldn't have any money because I would be dead. Sobriety's been the gnarliest ride of my life. It started the journey 2 years ago. Brother, I know you have, dude. 2 years of sobriety, dude. Congratulations. Man, really, John? That's and I know you for the other way, but we'll stick to your code name, dude. Congratulations, 2 years, dude. That's rad, man. We're getting people here sober, dude. We're doing our best we can. So let's see. Let me read some other comments here. How long do you have to pay it back? Oh, well, that was okay. On the BAFA, how long do you have to pay it back? 2 years, I think. 2 years I paid it back, something like that. Maybe a little longer. The thing is this is what I learned. Up until that point in my life, this was another cool part of that whole story. Up until that point in my whole life, I'd never borrowed any money, except for my parents, right? But I never had a credit card, never had a loan, never had a car payment, I didn't have any bills. I was like loaded guy, pickled. I didn't want any bills, dude. So I didn't have any overhead. It was the first payment plan I'd ever gotten in my entire life, dude. And I paid it off every month, man. $146, dude. And it taught me responsibility, dude. It like, that's why I'm able to, like, I don't mind paying stuff, dude. It's like, so it's funny that we bring this up because today some news came through the world today. And it was like a little bit of financial, like, fear got to me, right? Like financial fear for a minute. And right, like if we look at the promises, I forget what the promises, what's page 96 is the promises, right? Was one of the promises, financial, we don't, what is it, dude? Wait a second. Rarely, dude, whatever, dude. I don't have my stuff all lined up. But anyway, we don't have fear economic stuff anymore, right? So I got some fear today. So what I've learned in my sobriety was I don't fear that stuff. I went and paid a bill today, dude. Like and I've talked about this before. When I have like financial fear in my life, I pay a bill. I do the exact opposite of what my self-talking mind is, right? Because alcoholism centers in my mind, right? Like the alcoholism wants me not to do anything proactive to alleviate my suffering, right? So what my alcoholism really wants me to do is sit and be like, oh my God, dude, that financial thing is going to really like jack you up and you're going to be screwed. And oh my God, and this and that and this and that. And I go, I've learned since the car thing back in the day is anytime I get into financial fear, I just get out my bill book. I have my calendar, right? I have my calendar. This is last year's, but I have my bills, everything and I look at it and I go, let me just pay one right now. Let me just pay something, dude. Bah! And make a proactive movement. So sobriety is a lot about proactive actions because you can't just stop drinking, right? So if you think about like drugging and alcoholing and the whole thing, right? It's a proactive action, dude. It's an action. You take the booze, you stick it in your face. That's an action. You got to go to the liquor store. You got to go to the drug dealer. You got to chop it up. You got to snort it. You got to do all this stuff. Thank you, Easy Fluff. You have to do all these actions to get loaded, right? Well, you can't just get sober and stop doing actions, dude, because then you're just sitting there doing nothing. You have to do actions, right? You have to be proactive in your sobriety, especially early on. So if you listen to the first part of the story, like the beginning, dude, all I was doing was stuff. Like, and it wasn't stuff that was like, oh my God, that's so rad. Like, oh, dude, that was the fluffy bunnies. No, it was like, this blows, dude. I'm going to go set up chairs at some meeting. I'm going to go to a meeting. I'm going to go to another meeting, a meeting. Oh my. And I had commitments and I went to work. It's like they talk about the early sobriety. Just get a crappy job. It's called a get well job. Get a get well job, dude. Doesn't matter what the job is, dude. The shittier, the better, dude. Early sobriety, just get yourself a crappy job, dude. Just working at the donut shop or the gas station or humping lumber, just doing anything, dude. Because your life was a disaster. That's why you were getting sober, dude. So you get a get well job and you become grateful for the get well job, not because that working at the service station's like rad or something. It's because you realize that you got somewhere to be. And that's super important in early sobriety. I couldn't imagine, and I've seen enough of them. I've seen rich people trying to get sober, dude. When I was at that sober living, I watched a lot of rich people trying to get sober. They didn't have to do anything. So when I was living at that sober living, getting sober, right, I got up every day and went to a job site and went and cut on 2x4s and banged on drywall. And I showed up for work here and I'd come back to the sober living, dude. And these dudes would still be sitting around, dude, like, dude, like sobriety sucks, dude. I don't know what to do with it. I'd be like, bro, dude, like I gotta get in the shower and go to a meeting, dude. This blows, dude. But you know what? I'm the only dude who stayed sober out of all the dudes except for this one dude, Matt, dude. If you're out there, dude, Matt, this young buck, dude, stayed sober, dude, from that whole place, dude. I don't know how many people pulled through there, but we were both people that did stuff, dude. So again, if you're getting sober, like one of the things you need to do is train yourself, like in showing up in actions, because you got to remember you're coming from this thing where you're putting substances in your body, you're shutting off your mind, you're falling down, you're punching people, you're dumping people, you're making like headache, you're running up bills, you're just making a mess of things, right? That's your action. Most people who are loaded and looking to get sober are spending most of their time putting out the fires of their life, which takes up most of their reality. They're drinking, putting out fires, drinking, putting out fires, snorting coke, putting out fires, right? Rounding up money, doing whatever we do, dude, to make it happen, dude. Well, all of a sudden you get sober, dude, and there's not a bunch of drama anymore, dude. So you're kind of in this space where it's like, what do I do now? And if you sit in that space and don't do anything proactively, you will get loaded again. I can almost guarantee it. I can't say for sure. Everybody's different. But what I'm saying is you go from like, people don't understand that like the loaded life, the drug and alcohol, getting loaded is active, man. It's a lot of, even if you're just sitting on the couch being a fart bag, dude. It's active, man. You got to go to the liquor store. You got to carry out the piles of beer bottles in your thing. You got to call the drug dealer. You got to find the pill you lost in the couch. All that. That's all the stuff you got to do, dude. Then you get sober and you're like, now what? That's what all this accountability is about. It's not like it's sort of rocket science in the sense of it's trying to teach you to live a new life, right? That's why it's like that 90 meetings in 90 days and make your bed when you get up and get a good well job and get a sponsor. It's not because I don't know what it is that works. All of it works because you got to train your new reality to work, right? And what it is to be accountable to yourself. Like that's why you get the commitments. Because, man, if you don't want to show up to the meeting and blow off your commitment, that kind of makes you a donkey. And, well, then, you know, you're not accountable to yourself. That's why you get a sponsor, to be accountable to somebody else, dude, and be like, you know, like, hey, man, like, I'm thinking about going to, like, Jamaica right now. And your sponsor's like, why would you go to Jamaica right now? You're, like, 60 days sober. Well, you know, like, I'm going to go to Jamaica, bro. And they're like, well, that's stupid, dude. Have you thought this out? And you're like, well, no, I haven't thought about it at all, dude. But like, and then they'll be like, dude, you have a commitment on Monday, dude. You're the water guy at the meeting, dude. Like, so how are you going to do that from Jamaica, fool? And they're like, oh, Oh yeah, like Jamaica. And by the way, you don't have any money to go to Jamaica. I don't. Oh yeah. So in the beginning, you almost need the sponsor just to run your bad ideas by and just be like, oh yeah, that's ridiculous, dude. Like, yeah, I don't want to do that, do you, dude? Like, yeah, because if you called up your sponsor in the beginning and like, oh, I want to date that like girl, dude, and your sponsor would be like, you mean the one with the boyfriend? Yeah, that one. I want to date that girl, dude. You mean the one with the boyfriend and the cocaine problem? Yeah, that girl. That's the one I want to date. Your sponsor would be like, no, dude, that's stupid, and tell you why, dude. Because early sobriety brain is mush, dude. Like, yeah, I want to join the Marines. That's the thing, dude. You almost need someone to like walk you through the beginning of sobriety, because like the mind is out. Like, yeah, you can stop putting the drugs and alcohol in your face. Just stop it and be like, oh, okay, I'm not putting any drugs and alcohol in my face. But the mind is going to be like, yeah, dude, now what? Like, let's go get some. Let's go fight that cop over there, dude. We're sober guys. Let's go fight that cop. You know what I mean? Like you need to retrain your mind. Most people think that alcoholism has something to do with the stuff you're putting in your body, and it does. But once you stop putting that stuff in your body, step one, stop putting stuff in your body that makes your head go crazy and gets you loaded. Step two, dude, that's what you need God for, man, right? That's why it's laid out in the steps the way it is, right? This all makes sense if you like understand the steps, right? It's funny, we were at the meeting we were doing we went to that, our Sermon on the Mount meeting, right? And we were talking about this, is kind of stumbled on this like thing. So like, right. So in the beginning, man, like it's all about, we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, right? Like, so yeah, you got to stop drinking first. Like you can't do anything in sobriety till you like stop going to the liquor store, or the Coke dealer, or the pill popper, or whatever it is. You got to stop all that stuff first. And then you realize your life's super unmanageable. That's what I'm talking about, this unmanageability. Like just, I want to date the girl with the boyfriend thing, dude. She's pretty, dude. Pretty, dude. Whatever, got a little cocaine problem. So what, dude? She's hot, dude, right? And then, it came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Like the beginning, you don't need to have God in the beginning, right? You just have to believe there might be a power that could restore you to sanity. Like, let's see, what do we got here? And you do this thing, right? And then you get to turn your will and your life over to the care of God as you understand him, as we understand him, right? I can't get drunk anymore. After having kids, my tolerance is shot. Well, it is a progressive disease. I will throw the warning signs on. One of the big, how we segue into this thing, one of the big things I would caution anybody with is this. If you've gotten far enough where you think you need to get sober, that's a pretty good clue that something's wrong, right? Like your average bear, like your average like martini sipping like weirdo dude with his like $5,000 suit, dude, probably might not have an alcohol problem, but he's not wondering about it. You know what I mean? He's not drinking his martini being like, oh, I need to get sober right now. Like that's an alcoholic thought. Like, should I get sober? Like, do I need to get sober? That means you're like probably on drugs or alcohol. Like you're already there. Like, and so like, don't dismiss that question. We had that person on like a couple meetings ago here who was like, I want to get sober, but I don't think I have a drinking problem. Yeah, it's just, if you want to get sober, it's because you've already blown it out, dude. So that's your big clue, my advice. But what Kimmy was saying is, or I'm pinging off of, is if you think you're going to get sober and you do get sober and you abstain from drugs and alcohol, you enter a real dangerous territory in the sense of like your body gets better, like, and your tolerance goes way down. So like, let's say you get sober or you stop drinking drugs and alcohol, but you're not really, you're just going cold turkey. And you stop drinking or drugging or whatever for like, let's say 60 days, let's say more realistically, let's say like 23 days. I'm not drinking for 23 days, maybe 3 weeks. Yeah, dude. Well, your body healed a little bit better, dude. It's healed up a little bit. So when you drink that first beer, you might have been an 18 beers a day kind of guy. I was drinking about 18 beers a day. And you might have been an 18 beer a day kind of guy, never even like got that drunk, dude. Just maintained your buzz kind of guy, like just tried. Well, you go 23 days without a drink, and then you all of a sudden you pop a top. That one beer might for your body equal like a 6-pack all of a sudden and just send you right over the edge. So it's that thing, if you've decided you want to get sober, it's probably a good idea to like kind of like do it, which is my take on it. I've seen, and I know a little bit from experience, like the body starts to heal itself really quick, and the mind thinks you're okay, dude, just because you feel better, dude. But it's a mind-centered disease, dude. Like alcoholism has nothing really to do with the drugs. You can get off the drugs and alcohol fairly quick, even if a brutal benzo detox, like fairly quick. It's all mental, right? It's all up here, dude. And the minute you don't have your medicine, you got to start dealing with this thing up here. This beast. Talk about a gorilla, dude. And that's what you need the people for. Like, that's why people generally, it's really hard for them to get sober by themselves, because this is where the disease lies. At least it does for me, the self-talking mind. So you get to this thing where if you really want to get work on sobriety, it's up here, dude. It's not the drink. It's the mind, right? But once you stop drinking, you need something to replace the alcohol with, or the drugs, or whatever it is. And that's where the spiritual component comes in. That's the key. Like I can't maintain sobriety without God. And I can't find God without other people. Like, right? So again, that goes to the 12th step, right? Is this thing where having had a spiritual awakening as a result of these steps, we tried to carry this message to alcoholics and practice these principles in all of our affairs. So the spiritual awakening is like super key. But the only way we really get to have the spiritual awakening is by carrying this message to other people. Like this whole thing that you can get sober by yourself, like good luck with that, dude. How you really get sober is helping another person to achieve sobriety, dude. That's the gig, dude. And you can start to help look, if you stop drinking today and you bump into someone tomorrow who stopped drinking, you got an extra day on them. It's that thing. You can start helping anyone you want along the way. And what I would say is, it's super important, man. You got to give it away to keep it, dude. You really do have to give it away to keep it. And that's the only way I know. Like, that's what I mean is like this Wednesday thing. And I'm going to get some people to swing by on this thing. Is for me is like, this reminds me how to stay sober. Trying to help anyone out there who wants to be sober. Like John Podesta's emails are scary, right? It's to be of service is what keeps me. It's the only way I know how to be sober. Like I can run around and just not drink all day long, but how do I get over the obsessive mind with its problems, right? I can take a lot of proactive measures, like I said, paying my bills, doing this or that. But half the reason I was able to get here is because I was like, I've made a commitment to be here Wednesdays at 6:30, dude. Like I made a commitment. Like But I didn't make it like I can sit here with all the other YouTube. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do that. But this is a sobriety commitment, right? This is about sobriety. This isn't about YouTube or anything else. This is about me figuring a way to maintain my sobriety by being of service to other people. And we can all do that, dude. It's just about being accountable to ourselves, to God, and to other people, man. And so yeah, it's a commitment. It's a total commitment. It's the gnarliest easy commitment of all time, right? It's hectic, dude, but it's beautiful at the same time. Dude, you can totally be in an intoxicated state of mind without using. I get more like I'll tell you this, dude. Sobriety is the ultimate bong hit for you stoners out there. If you really want to get stoned, get sober, dude. Just fully blow your mind how trippy it all is, dude. You really want to have a psychedelic experience? Like, get sober and live your life on life's terms, dude. It'll blow your mind how psychedelic it all is, dude. So, it's all up from here, Kimmy. That's the truth. Life's a trip, man. We need Saturday Night Live. Yeah, we got to get those. I feel that. Anthony feels that. So I'm going to read. We're like 10 minutes out. I'll read your comments. When you have time and a plan to stay busy and never have time to get high, I try to make it impossible for myself to get high. That's a solid thing, man. Life gets busy, dude. I don't have time to I couldn't imagine wasting any of my time. I waste so much time being sober, dude. I couldn't imagine wasting any time being loaded. You know what I mean? I'll tell you what, man. One of the things that I'm super grateful is being sober with the child. I was thinking I saw this picture the other day, right? Saw this picture of Owl. He must have been like a year old. We're sitting on a deck. We're watching the sunset. And I was like trying to remember that day. And I was looking at that day and I go, I remember that day, but I remember trying to remember that day, but I was tripping on how fuzzy it is. Like, I'm stone cold sober guy and it's fleeting. I was sitting there looking at that picture going, wow, man, look at Owl's so big now, dude. Like, life's like this, dude. Life is like that, dude. So it behooves you to get sober just to be able to experience it, man. You know what I mean? But yeah, you got to do your own thing too, dude. You got to do your own thing. I get too nervous. It's going to be a bad trip. Got to work on that. Yeah, you got to work on that, dude. Best thing he said is that sobriety is about how you handle situations in real life and not drugged up. It's true, man. Like, you get the freedom to move through life, dude. That's the beauty. I promote it not because there's anything wrong with getting loaded. I promote it because you really get to see what it's all about. It's like this person, I want to try DMT, dude. It's called sobriety, dude. You want to really have the true mind. You want to see you want to see the clockworks? You really want to see the clockworks? You can't handle the clockworks. Well, you think you're going to like smoke a little like stuff and you're going to figure it all out, dude? How about you just figure it all out without adding stuff, dude? I remember my buddy Andy and I, we went to a fish show, stone cold sober, and everyone around us was just pouring. So we went to that, the one at the Forum, right? And everybody's just pouring drugs and smoking stuff. And it was like, we were just two sober dudes like there. And we're like, we don't need to add anything, dude. How rad is that? Like, everybody's trying to maintain their high. And we're like, dude, we're just like high, man. Like, wow, dude, this is rad. Look at that fool just like stuffing weed and drugs and and we're like, dude, we're having like a better experience, dude. Maybe, I don't know. But it's just that weird thing where, like, when you don't need to add anything to your head to have the experience, that's like freedom, dude. I remember just so like concerned about like my concoction mixtures for like concerts and surf sessions and this and that. Like, I gotta make, I can't. I can't go out into the wilderness unless I got a bag of weed, bro. I got to make sure I got enough beer for this drive. And I don't need any of it now, dude. I can just get in and go, dude, and do what I got to do. Oh, dude. Once you click into music sober, dude, it's like the full experience, man. It's like the real experience, dude. Because if you've already done all the like loaded experiences with music, you get the euphoric recall, dude. I'm telling you, the music's you just click in, like the music's already like, see, all right. It's this thing for you musical weirdos out there. It's not the drugs. It's the music that's psychedelic, dude. And once you know what you're plugging into, dude, you can listen to the music and have the same experience, dude. Because then you realize it's the music. It was never the drugs. It was always the music, dude. Just saying. Just saying. If you want to, like, that's my tip for the day, dude. Yeah, I'm a music weirdo too, dude. You can absorb the music with your brain, not drugs. Yeah. So well, we're here on another sober Wednesday. I hope that was worthwhile, and we're sticking to our kind of thing. Does anyone have any milestones they need to celebrate? Because I know that John there got rolling his 2 years. Anyone got anything they want to share, like, on that, dude? I love you guys too. Love you, John. Yeah, dude. I'm glad I was able to be part of that, brother. 10 days, dude. Dijon mustard, dude. That's spicy. 10 days, dude. That's rad. Double digits, dude. Good for you, dude. Keep it going, man. Keep it going, dude. My birthday in 6 days. I'll be 29, dude. Randall Pink, 9 months. Solid, dude. Shaba's got 2 months. Good for you, dude. John's got his 2 years. Jim Cliff, 6 years. See, it's doable, man. It is doable, dude. DJ's got 4 weeks, dude. We're smashing it, dude. Josh, 5 years, dude. Congratulations, man. That's rad, dude. Right? We're doing it. We're doing it. 6 months, 10 days. Sean. There you go. Good. 365 reaching out there with an email. Saw 29 was awesome. Isaiah approached 50 days, 4 days, Tut 42, dude. That's so sick. That's rad, dude. That's inspiring. 8 months from Hamilton. You guys get me pumped. You get me pumped, dude. So look, I'm going to do the final thing. Look, I don't know where you are. There's a lot of stuff going on out there. If you're feeling suicidal, please call a suicide hotline. Call someone for help, dude. Mental illness is nothing to be ashamed of. Depression is nothing to be ashamed of. As a person who's gone through it myself, and I did it publicly here, is just reach out and ask for help, man. Suicide prevention hotlines, dude. Do not feel that we need you. Everybody needs you. It's not the end of the road. It may be tough. It may be hard out there, but please, don't make a temporary problem a permanent solution. Please just reach out for help. Secondly, wherever you are, and I can only speak for the United States of America, if you want to achieve sobriety and you're desperate to get sober, there's a thing called Central Office. You can look up Central Office, your town, your county, your city, anywhere USA. Look up Central Office AA. Call that number. There is somebody there just like me who will give you the time of day to help you achieve sobriety, man. Central Office AA, look it up and find it, call it, and get the ball rolling, dude. It's no big deal, dude. The first call is the hardest. The first ask for help's the hardest. But after you've done that, it just gets easier, dude. So with that said, is please, man, use the outreach. We're here. We're a community. We're all about love. We're all about helping each other get closer to God. And there's no shame here, dude. No matter how low you go, that means you get to go up higher, dude. It's just like that, dude. So with that said, God bless you. We'll see you next Wednesday on Sober Wednesdays. Thank you for being here. Thank you for helping me maintain my sobriety by being accountable to you. And with that said, be safe, be kind, love one another, use the phones, contact. Good night. God bless. See you next Wednesday.